Hi, Dr. Griffin, call and receiver, bringing to you this Swift Kick web marketing critique, review of your website, everything online that you've got going. I'm going to show you some areas that I found that I think you're losing patience through, some areas that I think we can improve upon and find you significantly more patience through your online marketing, your website, your different online properties that you've got going on. I'm going to start here on your website. And start off, the first thing I don't like about your site is it's pretty dark. Dark on the sides, the overall look and feel of the top here is just really dark. Now, the pro of that is that, you know, your faces and your logo definitely do stand out. But I think we can lighten this up a little bit and not make it feel so dark and still have these things pop up here at the top. I love the audio that you've got here. You know, this is a few years old, I can tell, because audio really hasn't been in since video came in. Video, superseded guys doing audio voiceovers like this. Love your face here at the top, great for branding. The stock art here doesn't do a lot for me. It is a pretty smiling face. Statistically, blondes have a higher attraction rate or a higher rating of beauty than brunettes do. So that's something that you might consider changing if you like the stock art. I personally would rather have actual pictures of your patients here and give it a more down-to-earth feel. One big search engine optimization issue I see going on here at the top is Google looks for what's called your NAP index, your name, address, phone number. Now, you do have your phone number here. However, it is not text that Google can read. It's actually an image that Google cannot read. But what Google wants to see at the top is your name, your address, and your phone number. That's something that they're doing with their local search initiative. And everything's really starting to mesh together between local and social networks and organic search. The lines are really starting to get gray. I love the 4 boxes you've got here. Gives people a very easy way to navigate the site. The navigation bar down here, I would like to move up to the top a little bit. I think it gets lost down here amongst all the bluish colors, but you've got a lot of great content on here. Scrolling down, the testimonials are phenomenal. Again, audio is great. It's a step above just having text, but having video testimonials of these doctors and patients would be the primo, the kitchen sink, as you call it. Doctor testimonials are phenomenal. If these are medical doctors or whatever kind of doctor they are, obviously it lends a lot more credibility to what you do. And getting, if you've got some doctor friends or these guys would be willing to come back in and shoot a video, I would highly suggest that you get those guys. One thing I noticed here on the side is you've got an email the doctor link. However, if you notice down here at the bottom, when you hover your mouse over it, it's actually using a mail to link. These were great back when people had local email programs, when they had AOL on their computer or they had Outlook Express. Nowadays, the vast majority of people use a web-based email program, and these mail to links don't work anymore. It's a technical limitation. So I would recommend, instead of using those, send them to a contact form, which you don't have on your contact page, but creating a contact form, which is where you can actually type your information in right on the web page. Here we go, like the request an appointment page. Do something like this for all contact from the website. Here's what that does for you. One, it ensures no matter what kind of email program they have, they can contact you. And two, it takes all of your leads coming from your website and puts them into a database. To where you can continue to send them emails down the road. Makes it very, very easy to do that. Skipping through your website, name, address, the NAP index at the top. Google also wants to see the NAP index at the bottom of your homepage, which you don't have down here. One thing I did notice is you've got a clinical video library, which we see a lot of doctors do, and they think that this is satisfying the video requirements or the video favoritism that Google gives to them. The problem with these is really multifold. First, if you look at where these videos are actually going, they're actually pointing at CurtisGroup.com, the guys that built your website. So you're really not getting any advantage SEO-wise from having these videos on your website. Forrester Research, they're kind of like the Nielsen of the internet, came out a few years ago with a study that found that Google is 53 times more likely to give a website a first page ranking if they have video on their site. And this would not constitute video because it's not actually on your site. You're simply linking to clinical videos that are on somebody else's website, in this case, CurtisGroup.com. And the second thing to take into consideration with these are clinical videos. If I open these up, let me find one down here. Dental implants. What are they? And we play this video. This is going to show us clinically how a dental implant works. Patients don't want to know how an implant works, at least not at the level that you're providing here. Patients, if they want to know, how an implant works, or how, they drill, or how you flap a gum, or do any of that, they've got Wikipedia, they've got WebMD, they've got these behemoths of information that they can reference. Patients with video, what they're really looking for is one of three things, or all three things. They want to know that you're not going to hurt them. They want to know that the work you do is going to be reliable and it's going to be in their mouth 10 years from now. And they want to know that you're going to charge them a fair price. They want to know that you're not going to gouge them, you're not going to hurt them, and that you're not going to screw it up. These clinical videos, in my opinion, you are actually missing out on a huge opportunity to start a relationship with your prospect or with your patient, to show them that you've got a great staff, and you've got great training, and you've got great clinical skills, and that you've got patients that are extremely happy. Showing a patient how a procedure works doesn't mean that you're going to do that procedure right, or you're going to charge them a fair price for that. It doesn't further your agenda of making them become your patient. You're just clinically educating them on how a process works. So the clinical video, we've just never been really big on. It just doesn't hit a lot of the marketing hot points. The marketing hot points for dentistry are pain and money. How much does it cost, and is it going to hurt? And if you can address those 2 points, you've conquered about 90% of all your prospects out there. Going down through the site, you've got a lot of different pages in here. I'm going to actually run this page here. I hadn't planned on doing this, but I'm going to run this through Copyscape.com. What Copyscape does is it checks your website against all the other websites, out there on the internet for duplicate content. And duplicate content is where either you stole some content from somebody else, or somebody else stole some content from you, or maybe the person you paid to build your website duplicated this content throughout a bunch of other websites that other dentists paid them for, which is likely the situation here, I would assume. A few years ago, duplicate content wasn't a big deal. Google didn't have the technology to enforce its morals, or its ideals, if you want to call it that. Google's been preaching for years that unique websites, lots of custom content, video, yada, 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 this is how you make a great website. And up until 12, 18 months ago, they didn't have the technology to enforce their ideals, to enforce that, this is what makes our customers happy. And, Google's customer is the person searching. 12, 18 months ago, they rolled out the Penguin updates, they rolled out the Panda updates, and they have been able to enforce what they want to see, and that is that websites with duplicate content that are cookie cutter, boilerplate stuff are very low quality, and it does not make their prospects happy. Say your cosmetic page is duplicated across 6 websites out there on the internet. 6 other websites have either stolen your content, or you stole it from them, or your website designer duplicated it to them as well. And that's going to be something that Google's going to penalize you for swift and fast. You've got, and I'm going to cover this a little bit later in the presentation here, and I'm going to try to keep this under about 15 minutes. I want to respect your time, and I don't want to drag this on too long. I love this little drag down here in the corner, by the way. This is great. But I'm going to cover a little bit later in the presentation, in this review, your local search presence is very strong, which is not going to be related to this duplicate content issue that you have going on here. Duplicate content is going to be really based on your organic ranking, which you've got no organic ranking that I can find whatsoever. I can't find you in the organic rankings at all. So skipping through here, I don't want to hit every page. I'm going to hit a couple highlights, a couple pages I've looked at beforehand. I like the Smile Gallery. Unfortunately, it's written in Flash, which is going to have a lot of trouble on Mac computers, your iPads, your iPhones. This is also going to have a lot of trouble with Google. Google can't read this Flash. There's ways to do exactly the same thing with current technologies. Flash has really been outdated for a few years now. That is Google friendly, that is Apple friendly, and that is still going to give the same effect. I love the full face photos. Patients want to see full face photos. So many doctors only do the little sliver of the mouth, and patients want to see the overall change. I mean, that's what they're coming for. They're coming for confidence. They're coming for not to be embarrassed anymore. They're coming for these emotions. That's going to be what triggers their buying decision. And when you can do that, give them that confidence back, or that ability to chew or smile, that's what they're paying for. They're not paying for veneers and implants. They're paying for the emotions that triggered them to buy. Kind of the same thing on your implant page here. Look at more of a problem solution approach. Patients have come to your site and are looking for an answer to their problem. And if you can address their problems, address the concerns they have, and then meet them where they are in their mindset and thinking, that's how you're going to win over more patients. And I ran the implant page actually through Copyscape. Implant page looked clean. I did not see any duplicate content issues there like I did on the cosmetic page. I'm going to run the denture page through here now. Yeah, see this denture page, it actually cuts off here at 10 results unless you pay these guys for their service. But there was at least 10 pages that your denture page has been copied all throughout. So that's going to be one big thing that you've got to fix quick and fast. I mean, that's if you've got Google Webmaster Tools set up, which a lot of guys don't know about. It's actually a communication directly from you to Google that you guys can communicate. Google will give you tips, tell you things that are happening on your site, that they see problems, and give you an opportunity to fix them or to file a reconsideration request. Typically with duplicate content that's this proliferant, we'll have to file a reconsideration request and do some other things to get these penalties lifted off of you. Really, my hot points for your website: a lot of video. Video is going to be your ticket to humanizing your site, your website, your staff, social proof of your patients. You're on the right track with the audio. The audio is just a few years behind the times. Having a way to allow these larger cases, the denture, the implant, the sedation patients, to get more information without having to contact you. For the general patients that are coming in, bread and butter type dentistry, a lot of them are going to be motivated by an immediacy of pain, they just got to come in and get a cleaning, or they just moved to the area, or whatever the case may be. Their general type patients are pretty easy to get in the door. When you're talking to a patient about a $5 or $10 or $20 or $50,000 deep disability reconstructive type case, dentures, implants, they've got a large fear, a patient that you're going to be doing oral or IV sedation on. Those are the types of patients that are not going to call your office after they see your advertisement. They're going to fish around. They're going to look you up online. They're going to see what you're about. Offering them a free report or some kind of information to take them just one more little step, a little baby step higher. Give them a little more information. Allow them to have another sample of who you are and what you're about without having to call your office. Fear. A lot of patients are so fearful and so anxious. A lot of the patients that you probably do sedation on, that they don't call your office out of embarrassment or fear of a past dental experience. And having a way that you can send them more information, low risk, no risk, really, from your website is a fantastic way to build trust with those kind of prospects. So video, automatic communication. You've got some social media links over here on the side that I'm going to cover in a little while as well. And then just an overall more current, warmer layout. The black is just kind of dark, and I think we can really warm it up. Stay with a lot of your same colors here. Warm it up, have a more down-to-earth feel, and definitely fix some of the SEO problems, the duplicate content issues you've got going on here, and create a much more effective website for you. Using call tracking on your website as well as your other web properties is going to tell you exactly what kind of ROI you're getting from it. Installing call tracking here on your videos, on your Facebook page, you can know exactly what kind of results you're getting from all of your marketing that you're doing, not just web. Using call tracking in all of your marketing is going to very quickly and easily give you the results of your marketing campaign. And like I've said several times, I'm going to talk about that more here in just a couple minutes. You're already doing some call tracking, so you no doubt understand the benefits. Looking at your Facebook page here, you've got a couple videos uploaded on here, which is good. You've got a ton of views on these, 41,000, 94,000 views, which is fantastic. They look to be pretty optimized. Let me open one of these up. Yeah, looks pretty good. I would look at creating hundreds of videos for you. You talk about having the kitchen sink. Having videos that cover every topic of what you do and questions you get asked, and compiling these onto your website. We've got our Elite package, which is a 3-day video shoot. We can typically shoot about 100 videos in 3 days in your office. 20 or 30 patients, 30 or 40 videos with you, the doctor, all of your staff, office walkthrough, office tour videos, Sizzler videos, the whole gamut. We have a lot of guys that have us come back after the fact, 6 months, a year, year and a half later, and do follow-up videos, shoot more patient testimonials, follow up with the staff, shoot more videos with new staff, updated videos, as well as with you. The more content you can give people, the better you're going to educate them, the more they're going to look to you for answers. If you can educate somebody, now you're that authoritative source of information. Facebook page looks pretty good. You bring them to the status page. One thing I would recommend is taking them directly to a custom page, just like you've got this review page here on Rated Dentist, which you actually should change this a little bit so your ratings show up here. You can create a custom Facebook page that patients will go to directly first instead of coming here to your status page. The status page is just kind of boring. You can create kind of a sales funnel, get people through your Facebook page onto your website or into your automatic communication system, and kind of moving towards you rather than just checking you out. Looked online for bad reputation. Anything I could find on you good or bad across the internet. Didn't really find anything bad. I did find you here on Health Grades. You've got a couple good reviews, which is good for online reputation. People will review and look at you in many different places. So, having things spread around good about you is important. Having them directly in Google is the most important. And you've done a lot of that, and I'm going to mention that here in a couple minutes as well. Wellness.com, I found a profile. You've got a couple reviews in there based on 3 reviews, 4.5 stars. Excellent. I also found a Joe Griffin dentist in, I believe it's Tennessee, Georgia. And what I'm wanted to mention here is that when you have another dentist, even in a different geographic area that shares your same name, you always want to keep an eye on it to make sure that that dentist is not getting bad reviews online. And what you'll run into is, we've seen this before where there's two doctors, different areas, different practice names, different everything. They have the same name. One dentist is getting horrible reviews, and it affects the other dentist because when a patient goes online to search, they're just searching for your name. And they see Joe Griffin got 1 star and, he's getting horrible reviews, and it's very easy to skim over the address and not read it and not realize. So it's not something there's really anything to do at this point. I didn't find any negative reviews or reputation with this doctor, but it's definitely something to keep your finger on its pulse. And if it starts becoming a problem, there's things we can do that will mitigate it. Also, I found carolinasmiles.com, a very slight misspelling of your domain name. This is a doctor down in Pinehurst, North Carolina, that, obviously the only difference here is the S on the end of the name. You may have already tried. One thing I would recommend trying is to see if he's interested in selling this domain name. That's a very, very close revision of carolinasmile.com, something that could be easily switched. Again, he's in a different geographic area, so it's not as important. If a patient comes to this, they're going to go, oh, well, I must have got the domain wrong. This guy's 100 miles from me, 200 miles from me. But something to think about if you want to kind of protect your online interest. Made several searches. I did probably a dozen searches here before I started this video. And what I was saying earlier is I found a dominant presence for you in the local searches. And that's this area here that has the little markers next to your name and the addresses. I didn't find you in the paid searches. Also didn't find you at all down here in the organic searches. Florence, South Carolina dentist, Florence, South Carolina cosmetic dentist. Again, you're right here in the local. No presence in the paid. Couldn't find a presence for you in the organic listings down below either. And I've just pulled up 3 examples here. And I also didn't find a presence for you in some cases in the local search at all. Florence, South Carolina dental implant. Here you're showing up in the local search again. Sexton has a very strong presence on the organic side. And Google's going to switch these results around. Today you're down here below him in the local results. On the other page you looked at, the local was above the organic. And that's something that Google is constantly switching around. Sexton's also doing paid ads up here, which, again, you want to have a presence in every piece of Google that you can. When you look at this search page here, there's actually about 5 different areas that you can have a presence. You can have a paid ad, you can have an AdWords Express ad, you can have an organic listing, you can have a local listing, and then you can also have videos down here. Here's a doctor in South Carolina talking about dental implants. This could be your video down here. You can have press releases and other properties down here as well. The kitchen sink, our Elite package, takes care of all of that for you. Skipping over to a map of the area, I like to look at the area to make sure of what people are searching for and where they might be searching for in your area. Florence is the biggest city in your region. Darlington, a little bit to the northwest of you. I don't think you're going to pull a lot of patients from that with the distance being 15 or 20 miles away. That could be something if you see a lot of patients coming from, in this middle area, that we optimize for Darlington as well. I did not see you showing up for any Darlington searches, so my guess is you probably don't pull a whole lot from that area. Your Google Plus page looks pretty good. You've got 15 reviews on here, positive reviews. Looks like you've done some posting on here before. You've got it claimed before. Do something with the header image here. Make it a little bit more appealing. It's just kind of blank, 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 and then you scroll down and it lists your phone number. And I'd love to see your face on here, like your website. Talk a little bit more about what you do here, how you can help people. Kind of like Facebook, you get a little flexibility with what you can put on here, how you can modify the page, but not 100% like you get on your website. The good reviews are excellent. Whatever you're doing to get these reviews, keep doing it. We've got a Google review system on our website. If it can be of help to you, that can help you get more reviews into your Google Plus page here. Um, the big takeaway points from this would be video. Video is the wave of the future. It's going to be your ticket to better patients, higher quality patients, patients with money to spend. It's when you take time and put time into your website and you have video and free reports and autoresponder systems and a patient comes to it. We hear all the time from when we're on these video shoots with doctors that the patients go, wow, you really put a lot of time and energy into your website. You really put your heart into it. I could tell you're serious about what you do. It exudes confidence. It attracts the type of people that appreciate that quality of work, that attention to detail. It's, kind of what we call the mirror effect with patient testimonials. If you want to attract patients that don't care about how much it costs, that just want their mouth to be great, they want to be able to chew again, they want to be able to smile again, whatever it is, you want to bring in patients that have that same outlook. And they talk about, it didn't matter what it cost. Dr. Griffin's the guy to go to if you need dental implants. He'll take care of you. He took care of me. And when a patient says that, the prospects that are watching that video are going to relate to that. And if they don't relate to that, if they're the kind that are pinching pennies and they're trying to get something done cheap, they're going to go, ooh, don't worry about what it costs. He's the guy to go to. That doesn't sound like my outlook. My outlook is I want the guy that does it for the cheapest. And they're going to go, well, maybe I should keep looking. So it's the mirror effect. You attract the types of patients that you want through your marketing and through the face that you put on the web. So what I've got here, and to kind of draw it all together, how the system works is no matter what kind of device people are searching on or where they're searching, if it's Google, Yahoo, Bing, or what they're searching for, patients are going to search for all kinds of different keywords. And when that patient is actually ready to make the phone call, their search query is probably going to be 5 or 10 keywords long. You want to be showing up for those long tail keywords. Google AdWords, your website, YouTube videos, your local places, Facebook, Twitter, your book that we might ghostwrite for you. You've got to show up there. That's the first step, obviously. If you want to get a phone call, they've got to find you online. Once that phone call comes in, you have to know that your marketing is working for you and that you're not working for your marketing. Tracking the calls like you've been doing, recording the calls to make sure your front office staff is answering them correctly, whether it's web or traditional marketing. You've got to be able to have good information at the end of the month that you can make good decisions on. Is this campaign working? Is this campaign not? Let's tweak it and make it work, or let's cut it, let's substitute. How does this work for me? With our Zetetics, we can show you exactly how everything works and what kind of ROI you're getting. The other component is to automate the follow-up, especially for the larger cases, the patients that want more information. You need to reach out and touch them a couple times a month to continue to drip good information on them, to continue to touch them, to keep your name in front of them until they're ready to buy. And that's what it's all about. Those big cases aren't going to walk in the door and just lay down a check. Yeah, you might get one every now and then, but it's all based on trust. The videos build trust. The automatic communication builds trust by keeping your name in front of people. Everything is about the relationship and the trust. And if you can conquer that, you're going to have a steady flow of new patients. So if some of these parts sound like it'd be a good fit between us to help you grow your practice, we'd love to chat more. My direct number is 502-509-1413, 509-1413, and look forward to chatting with you again, Dr. Griffin. Thank you for your time.